So the Port City of Velen is a bustling city and foremost defence against marauding pirates. The Duke's Navy is renowned for extreme recruiting methods due to heavy losses at the hands of pirates or the perils of the open seas. People of Velen are bright and optimistic as well as hard-working. They have learned to deal with the mysterious apparitions that occasionally frequent their city streets. Known as the Lands of Intrigue, it certainly lives up to its name, where the opportunity to gain wealth, power, and success is prevalent. Will you be able to carve out a fortune and explore the mysteries of the seas and the ancient lands that surround the area? Expect puzzles, high adventure, difficult decisions, and treasure-filled islands wrought with danger. Okay.
Ahoy! Yar!
So, I will be doing probably a lot of talky bits to start off with, just because I want to set the mood and
absolutely
what have you. So,
I do have all of you kind of. I've got it running to pretty much the soundtrack of Assassin's Creed 4. So you sound freaking amazing at the moment.
I just wish I had your voice, to be honest, Cam. You have the best announcer's voice ever. Right, so darkness turns to light as your hood is ripped from your head. Before you is a line of bedraggled-looking people of all races. Nooses similar to yours tied around their malnutritioned necks. As your eyes grow accustomed to your surroundings, you are aware of your form. The one you've known through life. The one that has served you all these years. You recall your family, if you have them, and the lands you helped till and the seas you sailed. A sharp sting in your back brings you to the present as pain wrecks your body. Get up there, growls a terrifying voice. The spear ushers you upwards. Waves lap relentlessly at the hull far below as a jeering crowd of pirates peer up at the spectacle. That spectacle is you. A humid wind stirs your ragged clothes. The coarse hempen rope bites into your bound wrists. It's now you see the crows looming above the empty gallows and circling the mast on which you stand precariously. You're shoved forwards, towards the noose. 4 others are either side of you, scared and trembling. Your stomach wants to lose its contents. And at that point, I shall share something on Discord for you all under General, just because it's there. This is your character sheet for the moment.
Ooh.
Oh my god, that's Crystal's face.
You're all Crystal. Hoist up on a mast.
So privileged.
We're all commoners.
We're commoners.
You're all commoners. Look at those stats.
I am familiar with this. These guys die quick.
I can't even see stats. It just says Oh, it's on the other page. Oh, it's on the other side. Yeah. It's just the way it's configured is weird.
Oh, good. I can see it. Perfect.
So, as I said, actually, if you want to click on your tokens just quickly so it can be displayed in Roll20, that would be brilliant.
I've lost the campaign.
I haven't even started yet. Hey,
found it. Okay, what are we doing?
I would like you to click on your tokens and then roll Constitution for me, please.
Ooh, okay.
Using the commoner stats, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I rolled 2, sorry.
Terrible roll. I am going to lose the contents of my bowels in a second.
You see, man, the lower always protect me.
So, 3 out of the 4 of you on the mast lose your stomach onto the pirates below, and you see way down on the deck a little ring appear as you vomit. One of you up on the mast manages to retain some dignity. The strong tattooed arms of your executioner have your old, frail body up to death. Tell us who has... Sorry, let me do the voice because it's actually kind of differentiates.
Awesome.
Tell us who has the silver ciphers, and the ring of bones will spare your lives. Panic sets in as you realize the weight of your situation. You have no idea what they're talking about. What are you going to do?
I'm going to point at one of the other commoners and go, he has it. He knows where it is.
Oh, screw you.
The pirate laughs, a deep, gruff laugh, and goes, ha 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 ha! I've heard it all. Nothing can save you. Who knows? And he starts looking, and he starts like pushing you to sort of frighten you. As none of you know, he then in turn starts pushing you off of the hull. Off the mast, one by one.
Me first.
Me first. Whee!
I don't know you guys. I'm G.
Can Duval take a moment to take in the scenario, maybe do a little bit of investigation to see if there is any sort of given the rope behind his hands, any kind of extenuating circumstance that might allow him to trigger a series of events to potentially help with an escape or at least a disruption?
So, from where you are, you feel that only your words can save you because your hands are bound and a noose is around your neck. This is basically shit or bust. He's a hardened, salty pirate who is just taking it in turns to ask each and every one of you if you know about the ciphers.
The ciphers. All right, Duval's going to give this a shot. He looks down at his rather vomit-stained front and looks straight up at the sky, can see the crows circling around and the sway of the sea underneath him, and just kind of peers back over his shoulder at the pirate and says, "My friend, you have made a grave mistake. I do not know of your ciphers, but I don't think you can comprehend what you're fucking with here."
Oh my god, Duval is so fucking cool.
Alright, the Baron says, "You, man. Baron's not afraid of death. Death is just a doorway. Time is just a key. When you least expect it, I'll be back."
I'll be back.
Oh yeah.
It's at this point he starts very adeptly shimming across the crosspiece of the mast and begins to just push you off one at a time. If you don't give him the answer, he basically goes, "Rubbish, you are useless," and then he just like throws you down off of, and you fall. Goes to the next person. Baron Samedy pushes you off, goes, "Useless. Where is the silver cipher?"
See you in hell, man.
Does anyone else have anything to say?
When he says the silver cipher, I go, "Oh, that's... But yeah. Close, I'll whisper it."
So he goes, ha ha ha. He comes close, and like as he leans in to listen what you have to say, he puts his cutlass up towards your throat.
No, closer. Not knifer, closer.
He leans in closer. He goes, "Speak up. It could save you."
How close is he to me?
He's a good, I mean, it's obviously a bit precarious, but he's about 5 foot or so.
Alright, I say, no, I have to whisper it in your ear. It's a secret.
He goes, "These are your last days. You can share your secrets up here. It's just Umberlee and me."
Not say it out loud, whisper only.
He pauses for a moment and then looks to see if anyone else has to speak. Namely, the last person on the mast.
I just look at him and say, I do not have it, but I can find it if need be.
What do you think I am doing? He says. And he just basically shoves the last two of you off.
Can I try to stop him into
This
the
is
water?
Sparta kick off the mast.
Yeah. Can you what, sorry, Finn?
Can I try and swan dive into the water?
Yes, I mean, you can. You do have a noose around your neck, but go on, yeah. With the commonest stats there. Make me a dexterity throw.
No.
It starts off so well, and the pirates go quiet for just a brief second before you fall off the mast like a sack of potatoes. And swing and basically swing to your death. The last thing you hear, all of you, is a hearty cheer from the crowd below and a crack of the rope. Everything, instead of going black, goes light. And a voice, a distant, incorporeal voice, begins to enter your minds. You're no longer aware of the sea and the fear that you had. You're quite relaxed, you're quite at ease, as you seem to be floating, but at the same time you feel quite grounded. It's the strangest sensation that you've probably experienced in all your years as a commoner. You just suddenly hear this big, booming voice that resonates through you. And at this point, just out of character, I'll ask you, do any of your characters worship any particular gods or deities that I should know of?
No.
I worship the Lord
No.
of Death and the War of Life, Papa Legba.
I worship the
Legba.
sea, but that doesn't really count.
I'm sure I can find. Are you looking for a Forgotten Realms equivalent? I'll find one later. But I call
yeah,
my.
yeah.
Then it might be something like Kalemvor, in a sense. The God of the Dead.
Well, it's just basically for flavour, because each one of you, Finn, the voice that begins to ask you questions is the voice is that of rushing water and the crashing of waves, and almost fills you with this great sense of freedom and motion and immense power. Baron Samedi, the same voice, the same question, but to your mind, a completely different, a different voice. It's warm, it's friendly, it's deep, it's gruff, and it's quite mysterious. The rest of you all in turn hear the voice as you would want to hear it in a reassuring kind of a way. The bright, radiant light begins to shine, and almost if you almost imagine as if it was looking at you in turn, and it says, "What is it that you want? What is it that I can offer you all? Perhaps you want revenge, redemption, or another chance at life." Mom.
Life. I choose life.
You choose life, and so life has been granted. And you notice that one of the glowing silvery white spirits blinks out of your perception. As for the rest of you, I ask you, what is it that you want?
Duval, with a non-corporeal smirk, just says, "Give me vengeance."
Oh, I specialize in that. And you hear this mild laugh. It's reassuring. It's a very homely, paternal, I suppose, kind of a voice. And then, yes, you also blink out of existence. And so too, you obviously take the time to consider what it is that you want.
The Baron
Perhaps
goes,
you, and he nods to Baron.
The Baron goes, I want it all. I want life. I want vengeance. I want power. I want to
So
be
you... Sorry, yeah?
I want it so that those around us know the power, the true power of the Loa, of Papa Legba, and
Papa
of my hoodoo.
Well, you hear in in that kind of an accent, you hear, Papa Legba, he is your man. I can make sure that you are sent right down to the ground. Do my work for me. And then you blink out of existence. Finally, it's just Lucho,
Okay.
Ribbit.
floating there, incorporeal, with you aren't a body, you aren't anything, you're just almost the inside of a vessel waiting in an expanse of nothing.
I just want to win the championship belt. So I guess I need to live to do that. Please.
So be it. You shall have your belt. But as you are the last, this is the body you shall have. You hear this laugh just suddenly fills your mind, warms your soul, and then boom, we're in the present day. And so the story starts. At this point, I'll ask, which of you out of the group that you are currently playing now, disregarding the commoner sheets that I gave you, are associated, and how perhaps do you know one another, if at all?
Has anyone spent much time on ships? Because I've been around a few.
In that case, Duval's probably seen you around.
Yeah, so I'm a familiar face to most. Because
Have
I've
any of you-
worked on just about every ship.
Have any of you come to the bayous with injuries that you needed to be fixed with some hoodoo?
Probably, because like I get beat up all the time in my
Yeah.
wrestling matches.
Then the Baron knows you, and you know the Baron.
Very well, yes.
And I'd also think Duval would know the Baron a little bit as well. Part of his order requires some pretty choice black market alchemy parts. So I think Baron would be the kind of guy that he'd go for to get his stocks.
Got what you need, man.
That's so cool. That is so cool. Okay, so it's not a far cry to suggest that you all are at least familiar with each other, and that perhaps you would find yourself together. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I will work for any price. Well, not any, but I'll work for a price.
So two gold pieces.
The Baron
What's that?
the Baron made a promise to that pirate. He intends to keep it.
So this is an event that you can either choose to remember or choose to not remember. It was just a nice way of bringing you into a campaign without it being you meet at a tavern.
No, get out of town.
You die on a ship, basically. Is what I thought.
It's unique. It's good.
So, as we begin our story in the present day, you find that it's early morning. A light mist dances over the calm waters of the Velen coast as you row your skiff, and in this case, I would think it would probably be Finn. So, as Finn rows the skiff close to the shore, behind you all, the sun is rising, casting glorious pinks and oranges into the passing storm clouds. You have just completed a mission and need paying. So you've done this all together. And as aspiring adventurers, a man named Bjeraden Bjornsson commissioned you to clear an area of goblins so he and his wife could reclaim their land and establish a farm up in the coast. And now you need to return to the Port of Velen to get payment. It's then you see the flickering of torches in the morning light, illuminating what you could only be the remnants of a wreck. You've planned your journey well, and for that, you have time to investigate the scene. What do you decide to do?
Pull out a big fat stogie and light it to begin with.
Is the
Roll a
wreck on the
Constitution. I want to see if you get a head rush.
Sure, why not? Come on, work D&D Beyond. Is it working? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, there it goes. Boom.
Like your hardened lungs have weathered the years of tobacco and other such substance abuse quite well, and you are able to maintain your train of thought. Yeah, as I mentioned, you see what seems to be a fresh wreck on the shore. No one seems to be attending it, although there are a few torchlights that seem to sort of flicker and occasionally highlight the wreck, casting these really ghostly, eerie sort of shadows onto the sand and the scree as you're slowly passing. It's a bit strange because it's not like where you might be in a car or on a horse where you move quickly. You're in a skiff and you're just taking your time, and all you can see is just panic and destruction not too far away from you.
Does any of my party members have like a bow, or an arrow, or a, I don't know, crossbow or something like that?
Longbow.
And a light crossbow.
Why don't you shoot an arrow onto the deck so we can see? And I pull out a snake, and like a little bit of fire comes out of it, and then casts a light spell onto the arrow.
Nice.
Go for it, Jabal.
Okay, I will touch the snake.
The snake's going for your arrow. So he goes.
If you're afraid of the snake, I'm happy to handle it for you.
He kind of delicately picks it up and just lies it limply on the arrow. It's got an 80-foot range, so we'll see how this goes. Smiles and just says, "Well, my little reptile friend, good luck."
Okay, make a...
Oh no, wait, I'm an amphibian.
You are amphibious, yes.
Hang on.
Just clicked that. Come on, D&D Beyond, you can do it.
I had to turn off the dice. I think that's what's causing the problems.
Yeah, I turned it
Yeah,
off.
it really slows them down.
All right, here we go.
It's an 8.
Well done.
So
man.
as you are tracking by, I assume you're tracking by. You haven't changed course to come to shore, or are you heading towards the shore?
We'll head towards the shore on the lights.
Okay, so that
Let's
means the
assume-
shore.
I'm still rowing this damn boat.
I mean,
That's
I can
right, yeah.
fast if you're bored.
You're pretty much the captain of the ship there, Finn. So you're in charge of where it goes. I mean, do you have proficiency in water vehicles?
I do.
Oh, that's so cool. All right, well, I might just get you to make a roll there just to see if you don't like topple over everyone with a 1.
Nice.
But
Can I assist?
water-
Because I've also got proficiency with water vessels as well.
Yeah, buddy. Yes, you totally can.
What do you want me to roll for it?
It's I think where you've got the proficiency for water vessels, does it tell you what you would roll?
No, it's
No.
proficiency, so you would pick something else like a dex based or
Oh, okay.
you take
Well, yeah,
dex
either
plus
use-
proficiency.
Or
I would say-
wisdom?
Wisdom.
Well, it's it's many choices, so possibly. Maybe like
I would say
survival.
you
I
can
don't know.
use. Yeah, you can use probably survival or athletics or maybe some kind of acrobatics. Either of those, and then
Survival
add your
it is.
proficiency too.
Cool.
I'll just do this.
Right. I'll assist, so I'll give you advantage, Finn. Not that you need it.
Oh my god!
Fuck's sake. That's a waste.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, so I mean, the water's not choppy, so you just absolutely ace it. You go exactly where you want to, and because you have control of the vehicle, you have a better aim on the ship. So what happens is, and this is so cool because I can do this with the Fog of War. It's a light, and so it would do, let's say, 5. It lands just there, and if you look on the map now, you see a woman's form. As you haven't obviously quite made it to shore yet, this is what you see. I'll obviously reveal more if you decide to go to shore. You see a woman shivering. She almost looks like lifeless, apart from the fact that she's shivering. And that's pretty much all you see: the waves, the beach, and a wreck. The beginnings of a wreck.
Okay.
This is. Hang on, if I ping it, this here. Oh no. Which one ping is? Okay, so basically, where there's 2 sources of light coming from the woman, and then there's like the other light is behind her, kind of out of sight. Occasionally, you see a silhouette that gets lit up, but because it's still early morning, it's quite hard to work out what's going on.
So I can just see like half a thing, half a person. Is that right?
That's right. That's because what's happened is Duval has fired your flaming arrow onto the coast, and this is now all you can see in perfect clarity as it's a flaming arrow. Do you still decide to head to shore? I take it now that you've changed course, you'll be heading
Duval's
to shore?
definitely piqued interest here, and seeing the form of the woman shivering on the shore, something tickles sort of like the back of his mind, and he starts feeling a little bit suspicious. So if it's okay, I'd like to maybe make a investigation roll. And one of the funky things with a blood hunter is that if it's something that's related to the Fae or undead or with fiends, there is an advantage to the investigation roll.
Okay, so make me an investigation roll to see what you make of the scene.
All right.
As you come ashore, this is what you're confronted with.
If the damn thing will actually roll, this is terrible.
Yeah, so at this point you can put yourselves into formation.
I'm just gonna roll.
There's some serious lag happening, I think.
I'm just rolling it manually.
Oh, cool. It's 16. And so when you began your investigation, what was it we were looking for? Fiends and fays?
So I was looking,
undead?
using sort of like that little sixth sense that's scrabbling around in the back of the mind, trying to get an idea or see any hint of undead or catch any sort of scent of necrotic foulness or the smell of sulfur that might be left by a fiend.
As you drag the skiff onto the beach, you're all doing this. You get no sense of any demonic tracks or any real evidence of undead here. And being a coastal area, fays tend to not favour the coast so much in Velen, as they're more woodland beings. So it sort of rings pretty clear. You are, however, now able to see this second survivor. He seems to be faring a lot better, and he has his arm around the lady who he's close to.
Nice. With that, Duval just kind of starts moving off the skiff and is looking around and keeping post, and looks over his shoulder towards Lucio and to Finn. He's like, I will keep it covered. You go ahead and see what the situation is.
Sure. And I just start jumping. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna
Come
jump here.
Come on, man, do you want to live for it?
Hmm?
I said this to Duval. I said, come on, man, do you want to live forever?
I like your
Yes.
attitude. It's very plucky. Over the lapping waves, you can hear frantic voices. A man and a woman huddle together, sheltering against the remainder of a hull of a small sloop, which is a boat. What is everyone's passive perception?
9.
What?
Passive
I-
is 12.
You can see them below 14.
That is 9.
15, 12.
2012.
Oh no, I've got
Oh,
perception. 11, sorry.
You may want to fix it
Okay.
up in your flow then.
it's 11.
Still not good though.
Okay, as it's Finn, you'd probably be the most likely to become aware of this. As you dock and you're dragging the skiff onto the shore and joining your friends, and you see these two people huddled together. You see on the boat, the name of the boat is obviously inverted, is upside down, but it reads DMN Chivalry. And at this point, I'd just like to know a bit about your character. Where, those who know Faerun, are you from Velen, or have you picked a different place that perhaps your character might have come from?
I've spent a lot of time in the Nilantha Isles.
Oh yeah, cool. Oh, and the Nilantha Isles, really, so quite close by then.
Yes.
Excellent. Anybody else?
I'm from Chult because that's where all grungs are from, but
Chult, excellent. That's cool.
Baron is from Chult, but he spent the last so many years here in the Velen lands, where it's a little bit, it's like home, near the bayous.
Awesome. That's awesome. So it's quite clear to you, anyone. So that would be the Baron Samedi and Finn, and to some extent, perhaps Crystal as well. You would all be aware that the DMN stands for Duchy or Duke's Merchant Navy. So it would be apparent that this is a naval ship, but at the moment it's obviously only Finn that's really noticed the name. From the other side of the ship, so the blind side of the ship, you hear this angry voice, very short, chirpy, and very almost self-assured. You could say arrogant. But as you approach, the man appears to be a half-elf, and the woman also a half-elf. They're embracing each other partly to keep warm, and if everyone can roll me a perception, that would be fantastic.
Okay, perception.
Can everyone see mine?
Yeah, that's cool.
Ooh. Perception is +2. I'm just gonna roll my stuff manually. Ooh.
Tried it.
it's alright, I'm figuring out how this works. I'll get there.
No, you did it.
I did.
The dice are back on again.
Perception to hit.
Let me just punch you with my perception.
Okay, that's everyone. So basically, it's glaringly obvious to Finn and Duval. Did you roll a 9 there? Did you, Wayne?
I think that's the total. It's just I've changed back
Yeah.
a bit. Twice, yeah. So I rolled a 5 and I got +4, so it's 9.
+4.
Having perhaps associated with a lot of people and your day-to-day sort of life, you've dealt with a lot of people, and these people strike you as the lady is dressed in noble clothes, and she is astoundingly beautiful. They're hugging each other as though they are partners or perhaps husband and wife. They seem to be very much caring for one another. I'll just reveal a bit more of the map. In fact, I'll reveal the map now that you've docked. Let me just do this. There we go. There's the whole map. Oh, you roll performance. Okay, we'll roll a perception if you can.
This one, it'll be the same.
Yeah. You pretty much get the impression that these two are very much worried about one another's safety. This gentleman below, though, Donald, strikes you as not dressed as a noble. And again, you hear this voice from the other side of the ship, which you can't quite see at the moment. You see, "What are you both doing back there? Come here and help me, you oaf!" He says, "My wife can look after herself. Help me up, you wretched half-blood dolt." And then you hear this pathetic whimper of pain, and then he goes quiet again. What would you like to do?
I'd like to go up to the pretty lady and make sure she's alright and see if I can make her comfortable.
Okay. As you approach her, you can see. I'm just going to show everyone what she looks like. Hopefully that comes up. Has that come up?
Oh, she's gorgeous.
She is strikingly lovely. Okay, so what do you say to her? I mean, she's shivering and seems a little distant.
Hello, my dear. May I ask what happened to you in this poor vessel?
I'm afraid I really no, not much. The ship we were on, it rolled to the left and then to the right, and then Donald was there to save me, and she sort of looks warmly at Donald and protect me. But then the ship started to take on water, and people were screaming. It was bedlam, and I've only really just come around here now, she says.
Oh, I'm so sorry you've had to suffer from the fate of a terrible captain. Do you need me to remove such an offending object from your life?
Object?
I don't know what you mean, and it's part cold and it's part confusion. Object?
Oh, I mean person.
She can't help but glance over her shoulder, as if through the ship, to where the sound of the other voice is coming. And she goes, "No, that wouldn't be proper," she says as she shivers. You see Donald sort of shuffle a little bit closer towards her, and you can't help but notice that he puts his hand on the pommel of his sword to kind of as if is not sure what's going on.
Donald, my dear boy, it is okay. We are no threat.
He goes, do I know you? And he sort of looks you up and down. He's like,
You know if you don't take your hand off your sword.
He goes, forgive me. I am shaken. I really, all I want is just safe passage and to make sure that my lady is kept safe. From before you get the chance to speak, you hear from the back of the ship, "Will you come here and help me? God damn your eyes," he says.
I'll go over and help him. Don't you worry.
It's Donald begins to shakily get to his feet, but unfortunately, Melanie is too weak. Although you don't know her name, obviously. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
I would like to... Go on, you go first.
I was going to ask if the Baron could go check on that voice over the other side, just in case he needs some help or assistance moving on.
It's all
See what
good.
I can-
I got this.
see
I'm
what I
Passing
just
on.
around the boat.
see what I can do.
When I
Okay.
get to the other voice, I offer him a hand up.
He goes, hang on, I better. He goes, oh, good. Yes, you can help me, and fetch my travel chest. I'll pay you in silver, anything. The ground seems unsafe here, and my leg is injured. Please help me.
No need
And
to
so you're
pay.
offering a.
I will help you up, and I stretch out my hand.
Okay, yeah, he unbeknowingly is obviously a little bit off guard with the fact that the creature that seems to be rescuing him is not his bodyguard, but is actually this strange amphibious-looking gentleman.
Wrong.
And yeah, he will take your hand.
Can you make a con save, please?
Con save.
Oh no.
Yes.
Okay.
He goes to get to his leg, but because of your slippery skin, he slips back down and bangs, and he goes, "Oh, you buffoon!" He says, "I'm injured. Do it properly or don't do it at all," he says.
Do you just want
While
me to
this is
pick
happening-
you up?
He still holds his hand up. I need Lucho and Finn to make me perception test checks, please.
Maybe I won't click performance this time. Oh. Maybe I
damn.
will click performance.
Oh no.
Perhaps because it's the morning light, but yeah, Lucho, you seem the gentleman seems to strike you as someone that could potentially get you a lot of money, and there's some things glinting in the sand around him. Finn, you just get a bad feeling about the shipwreck. You've been around ships and the dockyards for quite a while, and there's just something not right about the shipwreck. There's lots of wood everywhere and there's splinters, but something doesn't seem right.
I worry about that big barn. There seems something unnatural. The lower telling me there's something wrong with its farm.
So are you sort of craning your neck as well, Samity?
Pop it in, pop it out. Pop it in, pop it out. Do the hokey pokey.
Yeah, so if you're having a bit of an active look there, Samity, you can roll me a perception as well.
There it goes.
and Duval, do you have any experience with ships? I can't remember what you said your background was.
I do. He's a sailor.
You do?
He
Oh,
specializes more in navigation, but he's a sailor.
Okay, well then yes, absolutely, you would have to make this roll, because this is something that if you are a sailor or have spent some time on the sea, you would definitely be aware of this. So
All right.
the perception.
Perceptioning. I'm going to see if this works. Oh, it worked.
Hey.
A 9. Das
A
und
9.
9.
It's literally just enough because it becomes quite obvious. You've heard of wrecks and you've heard of how ships are, how they sort of, they're made of wood and they would splinter if they hit something. But the biggest hole in the side of this wreck is completely smooth. It's as though the panels, the wooden panels that make up the hull, just disappeared in almost a circular shape. There's no splinters. It's even finer, as if it wasn't even cut by a saw. It's just as though suddenly the wood that was there just
disappeared.
Yes, it disappeared into the ether.
With that, Duval kind of looking about. He's keeping watch and just watching over the area while everyone's tending to the survivors. But he notices the hole and taps Baron on the shoulder. My friend, what do you make of this? This is not natural. I suspect some foul play here.
My scales are standing up, man. There's something wrong here.
Samity, you can roll an Arcana.
Right. Not really practiced in it, but let's have a go. Yeah, I can't tell what it is. It's trying to be obstructive.
It eludes you, man.
I could take a look. I'm quite well versed in all things Arcana.
If that's all right, then move Duval a little bit closer to. I can't find my ping, which I must apologize for.
Oh, that's all right.
Like that?
Yeah, select and move, isn't it?
Arrow on the top left thing.
Okay, let me
Make sure
just.
it says select.
That's it. Here we go. So, where the green ping is happening is it's here. Here is where the strange anomaly is.
Okay. And the way that it's rolled, it's basically it's rolled advantage. So if it is something, this is another one of those things that if it's something undead or infernal or anything evil, then it would be a 13. If not, it's a 7.
Okay. It's not in really enough for you to kind of work out what magics were used. It's not really like anything you've really seen, and it's more so that the evidence as like there's no evidence of anything that's really happened. It's the most strangest thing. There's no magical glow. It's kind of eludes you somewhat.
This is strange. I do not understand. Baron, maybe ask our beguiled captain on the other side if he knows anything about the cargo or the people that they were traveling with.
Yep. I'll go to the captain on the other side. Which ping him for me, or can we?
This is Cuthbert Wagstaff over here, where I'm pinging.
All right. I'll ask him. Oh, a second. Why don't you tell me what you were carrying, man, that attracted so much attention from the evil Loa?
Well,
and then I'll sort of just do like an illusion within my eyes. My eyes slit the wrong way and they go green. And then like bright green. Alright. As I look at him.
So are you going to roll... I need a roll for this. Are you going to roll intimidation or persuasion or insight, perhaps? To see
let's
how
go intimidation, but I'll guidance myself, so that's going to be the green light in my eyes. Alright, so intimidation. $14 plus an extra D4. 16.
Plus 2. Yeah. Despite the sunlight, which is now clearly over the horizon, he sees you in a half light, and the light. It must just be the light and the way that you're dressed. He kind of loses his shit and just tries to sort of scuffle back, forgetting that Lucho is there, and presses himself up against the wreck tightly. He says, "What do you want? I have money."
So, I just take a big fat stogie puff in, and then I blow in his face. I don't want your money, man. We want the information. What is called this? What happened? What were you carrying? Who did you piss off?
Well, I was in my quarters. I was going over valuable paperwork, and I really didn't see all that much. I'm supposed to be posted here. It's supposed to be my first day, and this is terrible. I was supposed to be the quartermaster's assistant, and here I am. I'm going to be late. I'm going to be injured. What farce! This is just absolutely terrible. And it's at that point that you notice Duval begins to come round. He really begrudgingly, Donald. Donald begins to move around. Duval really notices all this side of the ship. He's really like shoulders hunched and he's really reluctant. He just doesn't want it until he gets to this side, and then he's back straight up. So Baron Samedi and everyone see him walking forwards, and he sort of leans into to the direction of Cuthbert here, and he says, "Everything all right, my lord?" And then Cuthbert kind of looks around and he goes, This man is inquiring about things that he has no reason to ask for." And you openly see Donald roll his eyes, Cuthbert says, "As I say, I was in my quarters. I was poring over the maps and the ledgers that I need to fulfill as part of my role at the port. Donald, did you see anything? You were escorting my wife on the deck. Was there anything of such that was happening there?" And you see Donald just really like shrug, like, "It's above my pay grade." Like, just goes, "No." Whether he did or not, he's just not gonna divulge. As
hearing that as well.
There goes a smart man, isn't it?
Duval just kind of peeks around, hearing, "Wife? Son of a bitch."
No, so you don't need to make a roll for this. Out of the corner, as you say that, you see Melanie flashes you like this, "If I could make the ground swallow you up right now, it really would," kind of a look. She's like, "Don't," she's like cutting the neck in the air and stuff. Like,
he just grins a little bit and taps his nose, and then does a little shh. So Cuthbert sort of pretty much explains that that's the case, and that Donald and Melanie were walking the deck. But yet Melanie's already given an account, and she says that she didn't really see what was happening. What would you like to do? Oh, actually, now that you've come around the corner, Samedi, Baron Samedi, if you could make me a perception roll, please.
I'm looking at the what's it called?
The sand.
Looking at the Postmaster General, rather than whatever else it might be.
You think rather stupidly, why on earth is Cuthbert still wearing his silver armor? And you also see some flashes of light in the sand. I need everyone to make a perception check at this point, a perception test at this point.
Nice. Perception.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn it, that didn't roll. Let's try this.
Please do better.
It grows tonight. It's
No.
not my night.
Come on, something. Oh, that
That was bad.
was I found some lint in my navel.
Did everybody do it? And the highest was 11?
Yeah.
Finn.
Yeah, look, it's relatively obvious. Finn, you notice that the hull, the shipwreck that's here, just kind of like the timbers on the top, the broken timbers that would make up the deck above you, just kind of chatter, but then they stop. And you feel some slight vibration in the ground. Also, you see Cuthbert get incredibly uncomfortable and white-eyed as he looks down the beach down this way and begins to see what you all thought was a rock is actually two hideous-looking crustacean-looking creatures come. They've kind of dropped their feed because you all thought that they were rocks, but they are actually these hideous sort of crab folk looking monsters come tearing down for fresh meat, and this is where they enter the battlefield. Dragging in their claws, you see remnants of other fallen victims that didn't survive the wreck, and they've been feasting on these quite comfortably. And it's only at this point now that there's a bit more noise, and Cuthbert has been shouting so loudly, they've come over, and for that I will need everyone to roll me initiative. Now I get this up.
Right. Rock and roll. My initiative is probably going to be terrible. Oh, actually, I'll make sure I click on my thing.
Okay, obviously I missed crab folk.
Yep, we
Yes.
got crabs.
Oh, were you AFK, Wayne? Ah, sorry, you were too.
Oh, that is a
Wow.
sensational roll. Jesus, I was not expecting that.
Oh, thank goodness.
Um,
Good job, mi amigo.
I'm having a struggle now.
Wow.
I clicked initiative. Oh, did that work? No.
or click on your token.
No.
Click on your token.
Oh, yes.
There
Click
we
on the
go.
token first. Yeah.
I knew that bit because I kept seeing it in our other game. Everyone click on the token.
Now, Cam, I've got a DM question for you. How do I arrange the order of everyone? Is there an auto arrange? Is it the cog?
No, you can grab and drag people to the
Ah.
spot that you want them to go in the order, and then you've got like a little, it's I think an arrow that's pointing to the right, which lets you kind of roll from next person to next person to next person.
Ah, is it right? Okay.
I thought there was an auto one. Was there not an auto one?
There is, but I can't remember how to do it.
Lucho above. Crab folk. Both got a 5.
Whoa.
And Finn got 16.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right. Everybody pleased with that order? You can all see that order, can you?
Indeed.
Okay, so these hulking monstrosities come like tearing towards you as a pair, obviously in search for fresh meat. I have a little handout for you, which I will show you what they look like.
Nice.
They're somewhat terrifying.
Yeah. It's like a hammerhead shark crossed with a crab, and it's running on the shore now. Shit.
Oh my god.
Man, when they're going through like those one people, you know, the guys from the deep.
Yeah. Also, at this point, I'll also share the other player portraits. So this is Lord Cuthbert Wagstaff,
Ooh.
and what he looks like.
It makes me want to snot him.
Oh, so
Yeah.
pompous.
Yeah. And this is Donald Silverleaf. Show to everyone. There we go.
Oh, nice. Very dashing.
I can
a grizzled
understand.
half-elf.
More
Oh,
points
you're
for
into
you.
him, are you?
I'm into the lady. I'm into the Donald. You know, take your pick. I'm into everyone.
They make a nice couple. They are pretty snazzy.
Crystal, did you like my description? I heard you read it out.
Yeah, seafood salad.
Seafood salad with attitude. Okay, so we've got initiative. Let's go. Duval, what would you like to do? Obviously, you haven't really noticed the tremors of the ground as they've come scuttling towards you, but you are aware of this sort of faint, like, kind of clicking, like, sort of clicking sound. I can't do it because my mouth is dry. But it's not nerves at all, but it is nerves.
That's epic. All right,
But
with
they come
that,
clicking towards you, and you can feel like a sort of thunderous. It feels like loads of horses, like going, you know, because of their many legs.
So with that,
and
he
yeah, so-
really he can feel that something is definitely amiss, and kind of swears under his breath, "Puta madre, something is going on." And he's gonna let me know if this would need a athletics check, but he'd like to jump up onto sort of like the ruined hull and maybe take a bit of cover at the like on top of the wreck here, just by the balustrade, to go ahead and pull his light crossbow out.
I think that's a fantastic idea. You can definitely do that in your action. Because there's obviously like splintered wood panels and bits of old rigging, it wouldn't be too difficult for you to spend your turn on a successful roll to get up there. So just roll me athletics, it would be for that, please.
Excellent. Let's roll that. All right. A 17.
Oh, that's perfect. You ace it. Like Finn, you're just a bit blown away, and even Melanie sort of looks up, watches your ass. She's like,
Should note that he's got one golden eye, which would be perfect for winking at Melanie right now. So with that, it's more inquisitive. I don't know if he'd still have the ability to take the attack, but he's heard the noise over here to the east, and he's just kind of jumped up and onto the balustrade now. He's like, shit, Donald, get your man back there and cover his ass if you want him to live.
Okay, yeah, you would have a bonus action, so you could do a bonus action, but no full action, I'm afraid.
No, that's fine.
So
that will be his turn.
So you're telling, well, I've written Silvermane and Silverleaf, but you're telling Donald to to do his job, basically.
Do his job, get his man, and get the hell back there unless you want him dead.
I mean, if I were Donald, I'd just leave him there, but...
Actually, that's a good point. I'm just going to roll for Donald. Who's next? What would you like to do?
Me?
Yeah.
Did you say it was okay to change the ground poison thing slightly so I could stick it on a bludgeoning weapon instead of piercing?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay? Alright, I'm going to take my action to do that.
Okay, cool.
And then
So you're ready. Whoa. And that would take up your action unless you have a bonus action you'd like to use or anything you'd like to convey.
Actually, I might move forward like 10 feet. But yeah, that's it.
Okay, awesome stuff.
To me.
So you're sort of you're kind of slapping your wet amphibious skin, kind of psyching yourself up for these crab marauders as they come charging towards you. You start rubbing your body with your weapon, as it were.
Yeah, I just rub my belt all over my chest. You know?
What's that?
I just rub my belt all over my chest.
Yeah.
Oh, and then when I finish doing that, I hold my belt up in the air with two hands and scream, "Let's get ready to rumble!"
I like the addition of the dogs.
Yeah, the dogs love it.
Sorry about my fan in the background there, the dog.
That's amazing. Okay, well, unless there's anything else you'd like to do, it's Finn, it's your turn.
Okay, I'm trying to figure this out. Spells. Originating from who?
Yeah, you didn't take any, what to call it?
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I have so few, and I'm like, I went for flavor, not combat.
Yeah, Thunderclap's not a good one.
Oh well. It's gonna be a fun character anyways. Oh well, I will drag out my longbow then, because distance.
Yes.
And so that is... Nothing.
Oh, it's a warning shot.
Yeah,
Basically,
I'm afraid
yeah.
that's a miss.
Cool. And I can give bardic inspiration.
Are you standing where you're standing up there, or are you going to move on top of the boat or something?
Oh, true. Oh, I'm gonna leave the poor milady behind then. Yeah.
I will say, you're given your knowledge of ships. Not that you really need it for this. That obviously the hull, the deck is above you, which leaves an exposed hull for you to be able to kind of hide in if you wanted to take some cover or just hide for the next round.
Yeah, because I'm soft and squishy. Yeah, so I'm just gonna get to and sort of just hide just in there, so not too far away from a lady.
Fantastic.
And that's
Is there
fine.
anything else you'd like to do? You have a bonus action or anything?
Oh yeah, bardic inspiration to Deval because he's closest.
Ooh, nice. Excellent.
Okay. Lovely.
Da-da-da-da.
You've successfully weaponized Duval.
I am inspired.
You can do it.
So next up we have the Baron himself, Mr. Samadi. What would you like to do, my man?
So the Baron pulls out some rum. He drinks it. He goes and he gets like a lighter and he lights it and he spits this this burst of fire onto Lucio, onto Duval, and then just engulfs him. You guys are blessed.
Ooh.
Oh, that's the coolest bless ever.
As this this alcohol fire hits you, you feel yourself getting a little more sharper, a little more resistant.
Vol just kind of smirks. You'd think I would get used to this by now.
Yes, Lucio, you instinctively kind of flinch a bit at that, and then you remember, yeah, this is his thing. This is what he does.
Alright. Yep, he's done.
Okay. Now it's Donald's turn. He looks at Cuthbert, and he looks back at Melanie, and you just hear this most amazingly gruff, masculine growl of residing duty as he moves to stand next to Lord Wagstaff. And he readies himself, lowering his weapon. Gives like the most disdainful glance down at the injured Lord, and then back at the crab folk as they are charging towards. And then now it's we're just gonna call these. So this guy up here, he's Michael, the crab folk, and this crab folk here is David.
Mikey and Dave.
Mikey and Dave. Bill and Ted. Okay, Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted.
Excellent. With their rather pant-shittingly scary 40 foot of movement, they come into the game pretty quickly. Let me just get my measuring tape out. Doing this wrong. Oh, it's easy. So,
Whoa.
Bill comes in to attack Lucio, and Ted is just going to get into the fray here and attack Baron Samadi. So these are big tokens. So he moves in. He goes to make a claw attack. His first claw attack goes on to Lucio. This is from Bill S. Preston. And it's a 25 to hit.
Holy shit.
Jesus!
Yeah.
This can't be good.
Alright, yeah, no, that hits, but can he then also please make a con save?
Yeah. Tape.
Alright.
Whoa.
Okay. I'm angry now.
And Baron Samadi, this is Ted.
Just before it hits as well, I'd like to add a reaction to this one.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So as it goes to hit, I am going to hold up a hand and some nebulous black energy kind of crackles from it. And I am going to use my Blood Maledict to use Curse of the Eyeless basically to roll 1d4 and take that off his attack.
Oh wow! So describe the spell to me. What happens? Do you get like? Does it manifest? How does it manifest?
It will literally make him blind for only his attack. It's only for a split second, so his little bug eyes will cloud over and go basically blind when he's trying to make his attack on the Baron.
Yeah, so Lucio, you definitely see this like milky whiteness. He tries to go and hit you, and that removes damage, does it, from the attack?
It's for Baron's one because he hasn't hit just yet. So whatever he rolls, -3.
-3. Okay. He is going for his first claw attack with a 10 -3 is a 7. So he misses. So as he drops the remains of the last cadaver he was eating to the floor and goes in for a swing, Baron Samedi he misses you widely, but you're covered in the ichor of his last meal. As his eyes turn to a milky sort of pale pearl color, it actually, they're not very bright creatures, so it actually just is scared by this and not being able to see, and doesn't go in for his second attack. It's just almost as if it wasn't expecting that, and that you would just be simple food. And it sort of basically just sort of stands there, not quite knowing what to do, trying to get its resolve. They seem to be relatively easily spooked. And it's back to the top, Duval.
All right, I'm going to take a shot at the one in front of the Baron. Just like a trying little blow, just to see if I can figure out what it's doing. See if I can gauge this thing a little bit. Let's roll this bad boy. Ooh, so fires off the crossbow at our little crustacean friend here to the south for an 18.
Okay, well that definitely hits. Your arrow, was it an arrow, sorry?
It's an arrow, yes.
Yeah, your arrow strikes true. Obviously quite a strong chitin armor, but it manages to puncture like a point where it articulates, where it's a lot thinner and weaker, and gets embedded into the part that joins his elbow to his massive claws. It shrieks in pain, and as his eyes are obviously like back to normal, you become its point of interest, as you do 3 damage to it. Okay, fantastic.
That
well
ends
done.
my turn.
Lucio,
All
you're
right.
face to face with an angry seafood salad.
Oh, my peas are not supposed to laugh that much. All right. Okay, I'm gonna grab my title belt that is now covered in poison, and I'm gonna smack him with it for apparently nothing. Is it coming up? No. It was because I'm clicking the wrong button. And then if that hits, it'll be plus 3 poison. That's not very much.
So-
Did you roll an extra 4 for being blessed?
Oh, am I blessed? Sorry, I must have missed that. And that's
Yeah,
not
that as well.
What, 13 to hit?
Unfortunately, it's a 13.
Yes, 13 to hit.
That's unfortunately not quite enough to hit the crab. It kind of swings. It just kind of dodges out the way.
Clearly, this belt
And-
is too big for me.
And it's
I'm really sorry, but my thing's actually messed up. It's meant to be 2d6, and I only rolled 1d6.
Ooh.
There's the other. But not that mattered. Sorry, because I missed. Sorry.
yeah. See, it's just the one attack you have here.
Yes.
Is there a bonus action you'd like to do,
Oh,
or any movement?
I was gonna rage. But alright, never mind. I'll remember that for the next one. Nah, screw it. I'll still rage. Let's rage.
You gonna rage?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rage. Awesome.
I'm angry.
Okay, Finn, having seen the plight that your friends are in and the rather alarming movement that these crab figures have, you're up. What would you like to do?
So, from my confines, I'm going to whisper out to... Was Mikey the top crab?
No, it's Bill and Ted. So Bill is on the top and Ted is on the bottom.
Sorry, Bill and Ted. Bill's the top, Ted's the bottom. Okay.
Yeah.
It's to Bill. Just gonna whisper to him, you should run away, and cast Dissonant Whispers. Alright.
Oh, wow, okay.
I don't. So yeah, that's a wisdom saving throw?
Wisdom save. Okay. Oh, yes, there's a chink in the armor. Oh, yes.
Or is there?
Sorry, what did you say? A chink in what armor?
Still takes half the damage.
Okay, so what was the damage? 14, so 7. Okay. What's this guy? 7. Okay. Because it did take damage, but not as much as you had intended, but because it did take damage, it kind of becomes almost like, although it's in battle, it seems to be hesitant and maybe second guessing itself. These things don't strike you as like they're all brain, and they're all brawn and not really much brain. They're a little bit on edge, but they're still holding their ground at the moment. And Baron Samedi, and oh, sorry, is there anything you'd like to do, like move or?
No, I'm going to stay hidden there. Yes. I'm going to stay hidden.
Okay. Baron Samedi, you are face to face with about 10 foot of very angry crustacean. What would you like to do?
Well, I pull out a special snake, and what it does is it flies out, and it's sort of just like, it's almost like it's a translucent snake energy, and it's sort of like circling his head, trying to bite him. And he can make a wisdom save for Toll the Dead.
Excellent. Toll of the snake.
Oh, shitting me, damn it.
God damn it, you should see their wisdom. Wow.
See, it's a -1.
It's -1.
Alright, well, that does nothing, and the next thing I do is I'm going to kite around him. Because I think the guard should get involved, so I'll give him a nice clear shot.
As you move, Baron Samedi, I'd like you to just... I know we don't usually do this in battle, but I'd like you to roll a perception for me, please.
Oh no.
Okay. Whether it's the thrill of the adrenaline of being hunted down by these evil chitinous beasties, you become aware that the ground is literally littered with silver coins within a really wide radius. Like, I'm just going to ping it because I can't do the map, but basically all around here there's just great big piles of half buried silver coins all this side as they've come running towards you. And that's unless you'd like to do anything else, that will be the end of your turn.
Let me just have a squiz. Since I don't, I think it's, yeah, no. I might cast a bonus action healing word on the Lucho. So, just as I'm about, I just throw out a snake that sort of just bites Lucho on the arm, and this healing energy. It hurts, but for somehow it feels better.
What? Snake? What?
Alright, you get 7 hit points back.
Nice, very nice. So is that you back up to full health? Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Papa Legbird's looking after you, man.
It's as the gods promised. It's Donald Silvermane's turn, and he suddenly sees the tables turn, and he now knows that he's already fought for his life once, and he sort of becomes enraged by this and charges in to confront this crab folk here, and basically swings at him for an attack. He gets 3 attacks because he's pretty special. So 1, 2, 3. So the first one, he loses his footing, slips on a few silver coins, and the first one just goes wide. As a well-trained bodyguard of the duchy, he regains his composure and uses his momentum to come in for a well-landed second blow, which hits Ted for 7 points of damage. Ted screams out as the humans he was just eating weren't doing this, and he's a bit confused and a bit startled by the fact that you're actually choosing to fight back. Donald.
Did we lose him?
We might have lost him. Oh dear.
But yeah, Duval, aren't you technically a sailor and therefore can steer?
Yeah. He's well versed in doing stuff and all that kind of jazz and making the boat go in the right direction.
It's all good, guys. Worst comes to worst, I'll just get out the back and I'll kick us along and push.
No, literally, I can move water, so be it, to push the boat along. So
yeah, it's fine. Between us, we got this. Like,
we got a
maybe
motorboat.
I'll just give you a push.
And if I convince the DM well enough, I'm gonna get myself a little army.
Oh my god.
Nice.
That is my plan. I need to figure it out better.
I just need to remember as well. Zabaron, blessing, is that +4 to hit with the blessing?
It is indeed. 4
Okay.
and hit and 2 saving throws.
All right.
Don't forget you got
Sorry,
my
guys.
inspiration.
So sorry, guys.
Yeah, I also got that as well.
I don't know what you got of that, but I gave this really long descriptor, and I was like, hey, this is going really well, fantastic, and like everyone's gonna love Donald because he's the king, he's the best.
He's kicking ass.
And you didn't hear any of it. So basically, he slips and fudges the first one. He's pretty shit hot at what he does, so he comes in and uses his momentum to drive a really nasty one for his second attack, and for his third attack, being a cocky bastard, he misses. And then now it's Bill's turn. So what I was going to ask, and the only reason I found out that wasn't like in the group still, was Lucho, were you attacked by Bill last time?
Yes.
Okay, so as you've sort of incited his wrath, he's going to come in for another attack, but he does it sort of cautiously. So he's going to roll with disadvantage to see, because he just doesn't trust you. This isn't like you would have missed that bit too. So you guys aren't like the squishy humans that he just was eating that were dead. You're actually choosing to fight back, and it's got him on edge somewhat. So he's going to come in with his claw attack with disadvantage for a 14.
That would miss.
Okay, so he like, imagine, it's hard to imagine crabs being somewhat cautious, but it kind of swings wide, almost distracted by the fact that this doesn't compute. Strange magics are happening in its head, and you're choosing to stand your ground, whereas most creatures will either run or just become mincemeat. It honestly decides whether to come in with its second attack, but it's almost instinct, so it does again, but with disadvantage.
Well, they hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, This is that the. Hang on.
Was it supposed to have 2 attacks last turn as well?
It was supposed to, but it was just warming into it.
Just warming up. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got to roll that twice because, like I say, it's disadvantage. Or did I?
You did. It was a 23 and a 22.
Oh, okay. Right. Oh, yes. Okay. So 22 hits for 5 points of damage.
Can he also make a con save?
Yep. DC 16.
I just want to poison someone. Oh my god. He makes it.
Okay. Would you like to move or a bonus action or?
It's not my go. It's its go.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. My bad.
That's all
Losing
good.
track. So this now it's Ted's turn. Ted's talk. And basically outraged at you see you both caused him pain, but he's charging forwards. He's going to attack Donald for 2 attacks. Let's see how we get on here.
Ooh.
So they both hit, and Donald just gets knocked to the ground and flung up against the deck, somewhat winded and a little bit stunned for this round. And yeah, he takes what's that? 18 points of damage. He suddenly, he's become very, very unwell.
Ooh.
And is really dazed. And yeah, it's back to the top. Duval.
All right. With that, seeing Donald get knocked back and looking in worse shape, he's going to drop his light crossbow in place and draw his weapons, his longsword flashing out into his right hand and his whip uncoiling into his left and snaking as he leaps off the balustrade and comes into melee range, coming down here and kind of scoffing at our incapacitated friend here and saying to Lucho, "You keep that one busy while we kill this one." And with that, who's it, Bill or Ted that's down the bottom here? He's going
Ted
to
is on the
use...
bottom.
Yep, he's going to unleash on Ted. He's a dual attacker. So first up is his longsword with a +4. Oops.
Wow.
Let's try here. Okay, so that's 16 for the first one, and then with the whip, did that work? Yeah, that worked. Okay, so I'm guessing the whip hit as well. So 16 to hit for the longsword with 6 damage, and then I'm imagining another 4 damage with the whip down on Ted.
Okay, so that's minus. Yeah, the crab just reels out in agony as you see it take a real, well, what can only be described as pretty much a beatdown. You've injured it quite a lot. It screams out, and its mandibles just kind of shudder. A little bit of saliva, blooded saliva, drops from its mandibles as it looks down at you, and seems still to be interested in Cuthbert Wagstaff, but acknowledges you as a
juicy
foe.
muzzle.
Yes. It's Lucho's turn.
Okay. Right. I'm gonna just smack him again with my belt. Because that's kind of
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go. Get into it.
Shadow belt go.
The title belt. Oh, no.
Unfortunately, this time he uses his enormous pincers to shield, expecting that it would be hit by the flappy thing that the amphibious-looking creature is holding, and kind of bats
Honestly,
it out
I
the way.
thought it was too big for me.
Um,
I'm only
is your
afraid
weapon still
for-
poisoned?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so roll the poison damage because he still technically touched it and doesn't have
He has to make
Like-
a con.
con save.
Oh my god!
Yeah, these are not the beasts that us succumb to poison, unfortunately, too easily. That it is a possibility, but not this round, unfortunately.
Are you sure it's a possibility? Not with those rolls, it's not.
Yeah, not this round. It's Finn's turn, unless you'd like to move, Lucho. Or
Can I use a bonus action to kick him?
if that's in your character sheet. Yeah.
Do you have unarmed attack?
Well, I have unarmed. Like everyone has unarmed strike, so it's just like
Yeah.
1 plus strength. But it's more like, are you gonna let me do it as a bonus action, or is that a no-no? That's fine.
I fortunately I can't. I want to say yes, but I can't because I think if I do, then it'll crop up again and again where
Yeah, that's fair
people
enough.
might
All
want to
good.
use it. Yeah, sorry.
That's all good.
Finn, your turn. You're currently hiding behind the majority of the ship. You can hear all manner of melee going on right now.
I'm going to get to and whisper out to lovely Bill. And today's going to be the day that they're going to throw it back at you. By now, you should have somehow realized what you've got to do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now.
Oh, damn.
And cast us, and it whispers.
Okay, go for it.
Ooh.
Does that?
Oh, so
hit?
he's got to make a DC save for
Yeah,
wisdom.
I'm on another screen and I was waiting for the whoop
God,
noise, but it didn't happen.
Oh, it's made of stern stuff.
That was
yeah.
to Bill, by the way.
So it still takes half damage.
Yeah,
That's 17 psychic damage.
it's a second level spell.
Wow, that's amazing. So
Are you-
what's that?
Do you round up or down in favor of who?
Oh, I
always
round damage down.
It's always down.
Okay.
So that's what 16. That's 8.
Yep.
8 points. Yeah, he's looking pretty terrified actually. What's going on? Because he can't work out why nothing's attacking him, but yet he's taking damage. It's all a bit too much for his small little crab-like brain.
And that's it.
So okay, next person. 3 minus 8. I'm just doing the maths because I suck at maths. They are looking about half injured, at half health, and
Both of them?
waning somewhat. Yes,
Right.
thereabouts. More so, Ted is looking pretty uncomfortable with the situation right now. But like I say, something has particularly caught Ted's eye, and it's something to do with Cuthbert over here, and that's who you guess that he's trying to make his way to. And on that, Baron Samedi, it's your turn.
And so at this point, I summon a bunch of snakes around me, and they then become like missiles, 4 of them, as it darts into the crab folk, injecting force damage into him.
Oh wow, is this Ted?
So he can take 4, 8, 12, 16 points of magic missile damage.
Wow, 16. Okay, Very nice, very nice. Wow, he's looking pretty ropey. There's bits of shell hanging off. You notice that he hasn't got full control of some of his limbs anymore, and his legs kind of keep buckling as he kind of shakily begins to look at you all. And not really know what to do with himself. Yeah, he's pretty mashed up. He's looking pretty mashed up now. He's a smash crab, but he's not quite dead. Now we move to Donald. Donald is pretty much out for the count. He can't quite focus enough. You notice that he's having real trouble focusing. He's obviously knocked his head. He's in a pretty bad way, and it's at that point you hear Cuthbert absolutely chide the living bejeebus out of Donald. All these posh sort of put-me-downs that would only be really funny in like a court or something like that, or in a royal setting. They just would usually bounce off of Donald, like, and most people. But he's like, "Oh, you pompous ass," and all this sort of thing, and "You cretin," and words to that effect. But Donald just doesn't hear any of it. Cuthbert's getting scared, very, very afraid, because he starts using his bad leg to kind of push himself into the ship. He hasn't got too much movement. So here we go. It's Bill's turn. Doing a bit of a recce. Bill here starts to associate Lucho with the ill effects of what's been happening to him, and just begins to kind of head to the ocean, kind of giving himself a little bit of leeway between yourself and the others. But his eyes also are fixed on Cuthbert. At this point, maybe I'll get everyone to just roll a quick intelligence check. Or insight, sorry, it'd be insight.
Insight.
Really? Inside?
Yeah.
Would I also be getting my attack of opportunity?
You would do, yeah. These things are not smart. They just don't think like that. They're just like, there's the threat, get away from the threat. Okay, Lucho, you notice that the Lord Wagstaff's silver armor is shining very brightly in the morning sunlight, and it's very attractive. It really stands out as almost like a mirror, because obviously he's the kind of person that's really polished it and kept it nice and clean. He's got his damage sigil on there and what have you. And yes, shiny things. The same for you, Finn. Finn, as you're glancing around, you can see the back of him. It's a breastplate that he's wearing, but you kind of get the impression that could be the only thing possibly that Bill and Ted have been attracted to. And yes, that's basically just Lucho and Finn that would be aware of that.
Okay. Whose turn is it next?
Oh, do we want to throw in Lucho's attack of opportunity?
Yep. Go for it, Lucho.
Oh my god.
Hit him with the belt. Hit him with the belt.
No.
I'm trying!
Unfortunately, that misses, but because he's got his back turned to you, and I basically am a fluffy DM, you get to do a kick in his ass.
Yeah.
And it has to be funny. If it's not funny, then you miss.
What do you mean if it's not funny? Can I do
Lucho,
it?
did
Well,
you
no,
get
I don't.
points?
I mean, just like, yeah. You get to do a kick on him as well.
You know them kicks where you like jump up and it's like a flying kick and you end up landing on your butt?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that into the sand. Like I just fall into the sand. Let's find out.
Oh! It hits.
You know the best part about it hitting though is it's that
What's it?
and that and that.
Oh! Excellent. So, all right, let's tally this up then. 3 plus 6.
He's
7,
still
8.
Con
With the
save.
con save.
Okay.
Please fail.
If he fails, click in the thing.
Tough as nails.
Wow. He's a resilient son of a bitch. And I better just keep. So what was the damage all up there? Sorry, Crystal. What was that? 3
5.
plus 5. Excellent.
3 bludgeoning and 2 radiant.
Okay. He is just not happy. He's just pretty scared about this whole thing. He thought dinner was going to be easy like the rest of you, but unfortunately, not so.
You don't get frogs legs tonight.
It's now Ted's turn, and basically Ted comes in. His sheer mass just crumples and punctures the abandoned skiff that's up on the shore here, and he's going to make a lunge for Cuthbert here. It's at this point, Duval, it's glaringly obvious to you, as well as it is for you, Lucho and Baron Samedi, that this creature seems to be just infatuated by the silver, almost as if it was drawn to the silver of Cuthbert's armor, and he's going to make 2 attacks to try and basically relieve him of his armor and his life.
And his wife.
So that's his first attack, and that's his second attack. Oh my goodness, let me just get up his stats.
Ooh.
Oh, misses both times. Just basically comes in too close, can't articulate itself. Maybe slightly distracted by the fact that he's so close to other, your companions, and stands there again and hopes to have a bit of a go next time round. Duval, your turn.
All right. With that, noticing the glaringly obvious, looking down at the Lord, kind of says, "You stupid fuck, get out of here, run!" And is going to unleash on Ted down to the south here with Let's whip it first. So that'll have +4. And also the longsword, which will have +4 to hit as well.
Wow,
So
very nice.
17 with the whip, and then of course 16 with the longsword. So for 4 damage and 8 damage.
Yep, they both hit. This is Ted.
Yeah, down to the south here.
4 and 8, so that's 12. Oh man, Ted is just like a vast, almost bonnet-sized part of his shell is just hanging off of his back. You can see inside the shell organs pumping, and like all his internal organs are just terribly exposed now as it's making a last-ditch kind of grab for Lord Wagstaff. He is not in a good way. So what did you do? Sorry, how many points of damage?
That was 11. Oh, sorry, 12.
12. Oh yeah, he's bad. He's bad. That's basically... Yeah, he's not in a good way. And Lucho, it's your turn.
For my reaction from before, I did forget I'm raging, so it would actually be another 2 melee damage on top.
Oh yeah, go for it.
No, like just add 2 from rage. That's it.
Oh, 2 more, right.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
And then I'm gonna jump at him because I don't walk. I jump everywhere. Title belt. Ugh. That's my damage. Oh no, it's not. It's not.
Hang on. Pause this. You're the fighter. You're the barbarian.
You get 1d4 for bless.
That's what I thought as well. Add the 1d4 on there as well.
Do I hit
Oh,
him now?
What, with an 18? Yeah.
It's a d4. It's a 17.
Yeah, you hit him with an 8. You're hitting him with a 17? Yeah, that hits.
Yeah, and then he gets that as well. Oh, that's nice. That's max.
Okay.
And then he gets that as well if he fails the DC. for the poison.
I mean, it's not likely, but it is likely! Amazing. All right, let's add this up because I'm sorry, my maths isn't great. So we're talking, what's that, 7?
24.
It's 24?
Yeah.
Oh, he's fudged up. Similar sort of state as before. He's not at all happy. He looks at you and like kind of, as you attack him with such ferocity, he kind of staggers in the sand and gets buried almost, and like gets distracted by the fact that, you know, the sand is wet and he's trying to get himself out, and you just open up on him.
I'll say I'm raging, so it's another 2 melee damage.
So that's 26 points of damage.
Yep.
Nice.
Wow. Okay. Nice. 26. Oh yeah, these guys are looking pretty much last legs.
Anyone want food for lunch?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be crab on the menu, definitely. Unless there's anything else you'd like to do, Finn, it's your turn.
I'm good. Finn's go.
So Bill and Ted are both up still? Or did
Yeah.
Ted go down?
And like they are just like, if you'd have just walked in on this scene or just came around the corner and like, what's going on here? They would look like undead crab folk right now. There's bits of them missing. The places where they articulate have just become worn. You imagine like the pincer, there's 2 parts. The smaller part is just hanging limp and loose, and it's just desperately, it's almost pitiful. It is actually pitiful to look at both of them in this form, in this shape.
I do take so much pity on the poor things. But anyways, Bill can sort of see me by now. I'm in his field of vision. And so he can hear me, and I'm just, you can hear the voice whispering in his mind. Your blood, like ice, one look could kill my pain, your throat. And I can't dissonant whispers because I'm loving this spell.
Nice.
It's
I
freaking
want to
awesome.
touch you, but I want it too much.
So good.
Because you're poison.
Oh,
I am
it's
to him.
It's awesome.
like
That is so
what's
awesome.
what's left of Bill's like crab-like hands just kind of go up to where you imagine its brain would be, and you actually really don't have to imagine because you can actually see like bits of broken like carapace where it's actually exposing, and it just puts his hands to its head as the lyrics of that you've just sung penetrate his mind, and it drops to, well, I was going to say 1 knee, but they've got like, how many knees? They've got like 4 legs or something. So he drops on all fours. He drops prone, and crab blood is just starting to ooze into the ocean, like thick Icarus black blue blood is just starting to bellow into the waves and get licked back up on towards Lucio. And with
Ew.
that, it would be Baron Samedi. What would you like to do?
Can we just back it up? This guy seemed to have moved away from me. Is that correct?
Correct.
Did I get a attack of opportunity when that happened?
No, but you could throw one in there and probably maybe finish it off.
Yeah. So go for it. You would get an attack of opportunity. It misses.
I rolled a 17. Did that hit?
It hits.
Take 7 points of piercing damage from my Yakalwa man.
It's enough to kill him.
Ooh.
How do you want to do this? I have an add-on, but how do you want to do this?
I mean, I'm using my traditional Chilton weapon. So I just, I stab him on the inside. And then I just pour some, snake-like energy into him, and he starts burning from the inside all the way out. And it's the weirdest scream you've ever heard. It's It's horrible. And then as he dies, I look at the whatever his name is, Lord Toughhead, and I go, "You're hiding something, man. You don't want to end up like this, do you?"
As you're saying that, your attack catches him by surprise, catches Ted by surprise, and instead of just dying on the spot, he crumples to all of his knees and slides forwards, like pinches just close enough to get Lord Cuthbert. Duval, I would just need you to make a relatively easy dexterity check just to kind of get out of this guy's way.
Sure. Dex save?
Yes, please. Sorry, yeah, dex save.
Cool. Here we go. Dex is not my strong point, but boom!
Like a gazelle. Like a
To
gazelle.
backflip.
You managed to get out of his way. Basically, Ted dies with what's left of his claw around the Lord's neck, and the Lord is just shaking. He's in a puddle of his own mess. Both ends. He's just not in. He's pretty much non-compos mentis. He's pretty terrified. Good work there, Baron Samity. You absolutely destroyed him. Donald Silvermane, I'm just going to roll a Constitution for him to see how he fares here. Look, he's definitely feeling better, and it's pitiful to watch the crab guy get killed, but it's also pitiful to watch Donald kind of half dazedly try and get his leg out of the way, but he manages to sort of just tuck his legs up and sort of bring his head round as Ted just comes crashing down upon the Lord Wagstaff. As for the second crab, bits are just hanging off of him. He's looking in a really shit way. I'm just going to do intelligence. I'm going to do wisdom to see if he's scared. I did it twice.
Oh, alive.
Yeah, he's kind of. Yeah. Bill's barely alive. Like
I'd like to cast a spell on Bill if I can, please.
Is it a reaction?
No, because my original.
no, it's his actual turn.
My stab was. I haven't even had my turn yet.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Where did I?
The stab was when he walked my threat square.
Oh, I am so sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My apologies. Sorry, I got caught up in the blood. Yes. Baron Samity, what would you like to do on your turn?
Well, what I do is I pull out the whiskey again and the lighter, and then I breathe it on him, and I go, "Feel the sacred flame of the Baron." And I cast Sacred Flame on him.
Is that Bill up here in the waves?
Yeah. He's going to make a DC 13 dex save.
Okay. Also, a chink of some sort. Oh, that's my magic word. He'll definitely fail. Doesn't fail.
All right. I'm moving forward. Fuck this. All right. There's my turn. Done.
All right.
Right. Okay, now, sorry, my bad. Yeah, so Donald's taken his turn. That was what he did. This crab folk is out of the game. That makes it nice and easy. And so this guy, he's on, like, he's looking really terrible. He really doesn't know what to do. A last ditch effort. He's just going to make a lunge towards Wagstaff. Now, as a player, I know that is like suicide, but as a crab folk, you got to get the gold, man. That's what you got to get. You got to get the silver. So yeah, he makes the charge past Lucho, past Baron Samity, and past Duval, lunging towards the Lord. Everyone make attack of opportunity. Oh, actually, no. He will still get there. Well, yeah, he still gets there. Oh no, because he's passing through. How does that work? So you get attack of opportunity before he gets to his destination. So
Well, the minute he leaves my threat sphere, because I've just had my turn, so my reaction is reset. I can hit him.
yeah,
He never
Yeah.
really leaves Lucho's threat
Doesn't
sphere.
need Lucho.
Yeah, so it's just me.
okay, yeah. So have another little tickle.
Nah, so
Oh, misses.
even with a D4, that's gonna miss. So there you go.
So he comes in. What's left of his claws? What's left of his legs? White, fibrous, fleshy meat is flapping around where a leg's been just blown off or cut away. He's looking really unhappy. But he comes in for 2 attacks. First attack, second attack. And they both hit. Oh boy.
Ooh.
Oh boy. So they both hit. And I've just seen the stats for this guy. Yeah, they're not great. So what does he get? 5?
The 12 all up.
Sadly, it is enough to basically kill him and behead him. Maybe you could put it down to the fact that Ted is still pinning Lord Cuthbert down, but he just basically comes in and just his whole dying mass just gets like slammed into Lord Cuthbert and basically smears him across the sand. And then that's the round reset. So Duval, what would you like to do? He's right next to you.
Standing next to the Admiral and kind of taking a protective measure to try and stop either of these two from being killed, he just kind of swears under his breath. He's like, "Merda, don't see that in you, day," and then takes his 2 attacks at the last remaining poor beaten up crab. So we'll go with the whip first,
Okay.
and then the longsword. Whoa, Jesus Christ!
This is. I feel so sorry for Ted. Oh,
So,
I
like,
just feel.
I don't know if
How do you
that's
wanna
going to
do
be
this?
enough, but just like the song says, he's going to whip it. So just like circling the whip overhead and cracking it, and literally just snapping the head section clean out of this beaten up little crustacean until it just kind of sags, limps forward, and just lands face down into the sand, bleeding a lot of interesting looking crab juices.
Who brought the garlic butter?
Barbecue mom. Yes, you absolutely kill him, and that is a job well done, my friends. Be proud, be very proud. Now you're basically all covered in splattery crabs remains, and yeah, initiative is over, so you're free to do as you wish.
I go and check out Lord What's His Face. Is he truly extremely dead? I mean, if he's missing his head, then I'll just assume he is.
Yeah, ironically, the
Okay.
only part of him that's sort of preserved is the part that was protecting his body, the part that the breastplate was protecting. So basically, his legs have just rolled into like mush, and his head is, well, there's a bit there, few teeth. The weight of this crab, being that it's 10-foot tall crab person, has decimated. It's a sorry excuse of a body.
All right. Well, I pull out some various inks, and I say I've got to perform the death rites, man. Otherwise, the Death Lower might get his spirit. And I sort of will start, like, even I don't care that his bodyguards there. I start like inking in various Yaunty incantations to protect his soul for his journey to the afterlife.
Like at the moment, Donald is just too busy puking after getting such a serious head injury, and that's what the Constitution roll was for. So he's just like feeling pretty rotten, in and out of consciousness to an extent.
I'd say,
Yeah, and looks in a bad way.
Yeah. I said hold
Can I-
hold my snake. That should make you feel better. And I give him my big snake that's around my shoulders.
Is it a magical snake? Do I have to do any rolls or anything, or is
No,
it just?
it's flavor snake. You can call it what you want.
Flavor snake. You love flavor snake.
You can do it, yeah. Like, I use snakes as my spellcasting focuses, if that makes any sense. So instead of having
Oh,
an
yeah.
amulet or a thing. So,
That is amazing. That is a really ingenious piece of flavor.
yeah, it's still the same effect. But yeah, and I give him my really big snake, that, you know, and around his shoulders and go, here, just cut the snake, man. You'll feel much better. And he can do whatever
Okay,
he wants. Like,
fantastic.
he can freak out if he likes or not.
Maybe I'll he's a bit too out of it.
I'll say, but
What I'll do is
Don't make any
Sorry.
sudden movements, man. Just you know, keep still, chill.
you see his cheeks bellow out as a second puke gets subdued. So what I'll do is I'll use the turn order just to see what everyone would like to do. So we'll start at the top with Deval. What would you like to do? Anything?
Yeah, I'll check on Donald and just make sure he's doing okay and he's recovering, and ask him, my friend, this charge of yours, the cargo, was been taken somewhere? Is there somewhere that we can take you to a port? Make sure that you live to fight another day.
He, recognizing you as somewhat of a skilled swordsman, he sort of has a moment of like brotherhood with you, and drops his cutlass down and holds out a hand like as the sailors do. You know, that Roman grip as a handshake.
Yeah.
He goes to offer you a hand, in part to be pulled up, and because he's a bit ashamed that he's down on the ground. It would be dignified if he could try and stand, and he trusts you enough now to ask to help him put to his feet. As you're sort of helping him, he says, "You have done me the greatest service, Master. I am in your debt entirely. My love," and he nearly says my love, but he goes, my charge and my duties rely with Melanie. I have to, and as he's talking, she comes around. He goes, I am still employed by my lord to protect Milady, and he smiles at her, and he's like all cut up and in a bad way, but he sort of smiles at her, and he says, "But I thank you. You and indeed these crabs have done us a great service, a great favor. I don't know how to thank you, but whatever ships, what is this? Like maritime law says that whatever is in a wreck is yours for the plundering. I will not tell a soul."
Astute observation, my friend. And with that, he kind of looks over at Lucho and Baron and kind of fishes around a look to Finn. I think we have some payment to divvy up in the ill-begotten sands here.
Yep. And so, Lucho, is there anything you'd like to sort of do or add, or?
Well, I look to you guys, and I say, if you're gonna spend some time looking for treasure, I'm gonna go for a swim, and I jump in the water.
I've got all the treasure I need right here.
Yeah, I got my title belt. That'll do.
Okay, Finn. You sort of gingerly take a few, or bravely, I don't know. Like step out from the wreck, and it's now that you all become aware of the litany. I don't know if that's the right word. A litany of wealth that's just been sprayed by the wreck all around, and
A what?
Lord Wagstaff, like a litany. Is it a litany of like when something is littered? I don't know. It might be the wrong word. But you basically see a whole arse ton of silver coins, all in various stages of buryment in the sand. What would you like to do? You can see that Melanie has kind of obviously resided herself. She takes one massive, like, she's completely shocked and almost like takes a step back, and then swallows in and comes forward as she sees the remains of her husband, but then openly, sort of putting two and two together, just comes and embraces Donald and puts her arm around him, and a very sheepish smile begins to creep between her chattering teeth. What would you like to do?
Wow, that's cold.
And he's not even cold yet.
It was meant to be, it was meant to be. I do believe we have some loot to get to and find around here. I don't believe this ship is too recoverable. Actually, am I able to loot the ship itself for a little bit of wooden parts, or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you want to take some wooden scrap, by all means, yeah. You do have to bear in mind that the skiff was quite small, and the crab destroyed the other skiff there. So you can certainly take whatever you can sort of cram in there. So you can't drag half the ship back with you, but
I wouldn't drag it. I'd steer Lucho too.
I mean, sure, why not?
Yeah. Think of it as a prize, good sir.
I don't need no prize, I just got my belt.
Okay.
So, Baron Semley, was there anything you would like to do?
Well, I finished the funeral rites, and I go to the woman. I assume you don't want to be buried with him, right?
she just takes many steps back, and like Donald has to like hobble over in his half like destroyed. He's in a bad way, but he kind of hobbles to get in between her and you, and he says, "You leave her, don't you hurt her." And he goes, and he like leans over and grabs his shoulder as another like fit of pain like racks his body.
What is your problem? I was asking a question. All she had to say was no. Like it's just.
I don't want to die.
Okay, you don't have to die. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Fine. Chill out with your new bodyguard. He gives the wink. Because if you need somebody to officiate the nuptials, I know a guy. Come on. And with that, Baron will cast light on like one of the coins in front of him and use that to help him find more coins.
Okay, fantastic. That's good. So, the way I'm going to do, because treasure and loot is going to be a big thing in this, which is always really nice. If everyone can roll me an investigation. Now you can sort of help each other out, or do it as a group, or what have you, or go off as pairs with advantage and all that sort of thing. I don't mind how you do it, but I need everyone to just roll investigation, and that will depict what you find. Or just let me know how long you're going to spend doing it.
Fair
like a day, you'll find everything.
Hey, Wayne.
Yeah.
You might know better than me. I have, what do I have? Jack of all trades.
Mm-hmm.
Does that apply in this sort of instance?
Jack of all trades would have given you a half proficiency in investigation. You took a full, but your intelligence is not good. So, yeah, you basically
No point.
Well, I think you need to revisit your stats, but you get a +2 already from the. Oh wait, you didn't use the Jack of all trades on it, did you? That's weird. Your build's very weird.
We can discuss it later.
Yeah. I mean, my build's very weird. So who am I to say?
I'm just weird in general, so
We're all weird.
acceptance at this point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, unfortunately, I got a -1, so I'll help somebody, but I'll cast guidance on them. Yours is at least +0, +2.
Yeah, I got an 8.
Yeah, add it to Finn.
Yeah, I was about to say, add it to me,
Oh well, that's a D4. Here you go.
so I can add a
It's
D4.
It's a 1.
D4,
Oh,
the bastard of all days.
All right. Well, Duval, you've got a decent thingy, haven't you? You got
Yeah, I've
15.
hit 15. Yeah.
Lucho, can you find the silver in the sea, in the ocean?
Can you guys see me moving around?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
I
I just imagine you doing backstroke.
Lucho,
I'm just
find
swimming.
the coins in the ocean.
I just wanted to have a nice swim, but fine. If I can find the right button.
Okay, so
Hey!
Fucking hell.
Nope, I'm going for a swim.
Yeah, that's how much I wanted to look for them. So that's what you get.
So
Luckily-
basically, only Duval basically finds stuff. The rest of us find something, but not great stuff.
perhaps you're just a bit distracted by the battle that's just happened. But yeah, unfortunately, it's very clear to you that Lucho is just all about the swimming right now. He's just like, yeah, sure. He's like swimming with his middle fingers extended, like, I'll search for you, sure. And he's like swimming with his...
I'm just searching for them H2O molecules.
Because Lucho's not helping, I'm just gonna like.
Hey, I'm helping him.
I'm gonna just put because he gave the finger or whatever. I'm just gonna put like a little wave over Lucho just to like dump some water on top of him.
Yeah, do it.
Oh, that's much better. Remember, I need like an hour a day in the water, otherwise I get exhaustion.
Amphibious.
So, basically, as you combine your efforts and it wasn't a complete dud, you're able to find, firstly, like it's like a thick wooden, like heirloom-looking chest, like small sort of treasure chest, about the size of a shoebox. It's obviously been emptied out. Its contents have been emptied out during the wreck, but it makes for an excellent container to put in the following. So you guys are, after some investigation, you managed to find 200 silver pieces, 8 pearls, and a silver bar of unknown value. And Duval, you alone, because your search was so good, you actually find another interesting antiquity within the sand. And it's up to you whether you want to announce it or whether you want to keep it to yourself. But as you're
Was it
searching,
the captain's dignity?
yeah. It was his courtesy. It was his politeness. Yeah. It was there all along. You're able to find. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Because it's just you.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm going to announce to the group. But you don't see this. But you find a small golden dwarven napping hammer of worth. Well, you look at it and you're like, that looks like that's worth a fucking shit ton in the right hands. And yes, that's your first piece of treasure that you found.
And with that, Duval's not going to covert it or anything like that. He's quite open with it, and also goes over to Baron, kind of showing him the small hammer. He's like, I think this will fetch a pretty penny. What about the? Do you think the wife will mind if we look at the armor of the dead guy?
I could play, what's it called? I could do interference. She seems to like me.
Yeah. This is where tact will come in handy. I need a good, solid plan.
Well,
like, you can do a
plan's-
distraction, or...
My plan would be to come over and ask them both, and ask them when they'd like me to perform the wedding ceremony and where it's going to be, and see whether or not they actually move to the other side of the boat, away from him.
Okay, so give me your favored in charisma. Like whether it's you could try and intimidate them out of the way, or you could try and like persuade them out of the way,
Let's try persuasion. I'll use guidance as well.
or just a flat charisma, whatever you fancy.
Persuasion's fine. Bear with me a moment while I find out where my okay, so guidance is D4. Here's persuasion. 22. Holozek and roll the D4. 25.
Boom.
Jesus. Okay, they are putty in your hands. They're like, yes, that's all we've really wanted. And they sort of, come, let's walk over here. And she sort of puts her hanky to her mouth when she keeps looking at the remains of her husband. And she says, come, let's talk over here. This couldn't have worked more in your favor.
Yeah.
Duval, you no longer have to
I will
Yeah,
start
Duval.
making the preparations for the burial.
You're gonna dig a hole? You want me to start digging the hole?
It just kind of smells like we're digging a hole.
We can float him out to sea if you like. Do a proper sea burial.
It's alright, I'll swim him out.
Okay, swim him out. And with that, do you want me to roll for sleight of hand, or those guys are well and truly off to the side now for us to?
Because Baron Samedy did just so well, like fortune has favoured you, and he's done a really good job of just like getting them around his little finger, getting the snake around his little finger, and you don't have to make a sleight of hand or anything. You guys can just literally pillage as you want.
We're going to strip him of all of his worldly possessions, and then Lucho can take him for a nice long swim.
Okay.
He's gonna be practically naked by the time we're done.
More dignity in death than in life.
What you find on his person, if anyone's like acting treasurer or what have you, is basically you find a blood-stained naval officer's uniform. Officer, so it's of some rank. You find a silvered breastplate, so that again is of some worth, and you almost overlook it until you look sort of as you're obviously stripping him down to get the evidence. Burying him. Sorry.
On there?
As you begin to remove his breastplate and clothes or anything else you wish to take, you notice a small little leather pouch just tucked on the inside of his belt. And as you sort of, are you going to open it up or?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, absolutely. We're curious.
Okay, as you open it up, you find a sapphire about the size of your thumb. Not the whole thumb, your thumb knuckle, the first part of your digit. So it's pretty big. What's that, an inch?
Uh-huh.
And again, to the right person, that could be worth a lot of money.
Just kind of smiles to Lucho and to Finn. It's like, pay dirt.
So that was officers. I better just write this down as well.
I've got it. Bloodstained naval officer
Nice.
uniform, silvered breastplate, small leather pouch containing 1 sapphire.
Can I have the pouch though?
Why do you want the pouch?
Why not?
Yeah, Frog's got to wear some pants sometime.
Yeah.
No, not the pants.
Yeah.
Pouch.
Oh yeah, just the pouch.
Yeah, just the pouch.
You can wear just the pouch. You're a barbarian, but please cover that.
Yeah, exactly. The pouch isn't big enough, sorry.
Okay.
That's
So-
terrible. Ew.
As the beach is no longer shining with silver coins or valuable pearls and other rarities and antiquities, both Donald and Melanie begin to sort of bow out, and they try to make their excuses to leave, and they keep looking at the skiff, and they're like, we'd rather not chance your lives after saving ours with traveling by sea. Velen is really only just a few miles away, and you're like, hang on, yeah, no, it is. It's not that far. They said, we'll take the road in, and if you're heading there, then I hope that I see you, and perhaps if Lady Luck favors us, we can buy you both a drink, and maybe even invite you to our wedding. She sort of indicates that to Baron Samedy.
What?
He did a pretty good job. Like, they're into him.
It
The
says
Reverend Baron
your-
Samedy.
It says your
Good job.
blessing.
Come on, I was hoping for a menage a trois.
Your blessings.
Don't know what to do with all these snakes.
All right, Baron says shots. He's trying to say stuff. Now he walks back to the party.
Oh dear.
Okay, so these guys come back and they're like, bye, thanks. Not like that, but you know what I mean. Politely role played. They make their leave. You notice that Donald is just stooping now and again, and you reckon that's probably just a few coins that he's found along the way.
Nice.
And they head towards the road, which is quite some distance sort of to our south.
Weddings are expensive, man. He needs the moolah.
And yes, well done, guys. That was your first encounter. You're standing on a beach. You have lined your pockets with some considerable wealth, and you still have a mode of transport. It would have been terrible if the crab got over there and fallen on it.
Oh yeah. Not on my
So, what
watch.
would you like to do?
Personally, I'd like to keep on going. We have payment waiting for us from
Get back to Velen.
Beggar. Oh, I can't say it. I've written it down. I can't even say it. Beggarden Bjornsson.
Mr.
Okay, that's
Bjornsson.
good. Do you want the proper spelling?
Send it to me in the chat.
I thought you
wrap in the pouch into a necklace, so it just goes around my neck, and then I swim the body out to sea.
Nice.
When I get back, you can see me putting pretty seashells into the pouch.
Okay, so you're collecting a few seashells and
Yep,
And what
just
have you-
the pretty ones, because why not?
I was nowhere near close.
you've buried and gotten rid of the body of Cuthbert Wagstaff.
Yeah, I just took it out to sea where there were big enough waves that he'd keep going out.
Well, he was a naval officer, so burial at sea seems appropriate.
Very, very, very true. Okay, so where are we? Just gotta find my notes.
Besides, now that his soul is protected, his body can go back to the deep, but his soul will be carried to the afterlife by the lower.
I love
I
that you
did.
made him with like burial rites and not like just a necromancer or something like that. I would have just made a voodoo necromancer.
No, he's got all life. He's like life domain. He talks about being, working for the god of death, but that for him means life. He's a divine soul sorcerer with life, powers. He's a cleric with life, and he's what do you call it? Just hold on, where's the other one? Yeah, so he's taken the warlock with the life, with the healing.
Oh yeah,
The sorcerer with the healing, and the cleric with the healing. So it's like, there you go.
Damn.
that's awesome. So unless there's anything else you want to do here, you.
Yeah. It looks like the grunge is still injured, so I pull out a snake and bite him for an extra 5 points of healing power.
Awesome. Yeah. Did you wanna add that there, Gron? Lucho?
Sorry, pardon?
Did you want to add the healing?
Yeah, sorry.
Or,
What was it for? Sorry.
Baron Samedi was just casting a spell, is that right? Through the snake? Snake spell?
This is through my healing light. I have a 2d6 healing pool that resets when you finish a long rest. As a bonus action, you can heal one creature you can see within 60 feet, spending a dice from the pool. So I've just spent 5 hit points, essentially 1 hit dice, to heal the grunge, but via snake love. What are you doing? You're going the wrong way. It's
I
30.
did go the wrong way. I meant to click +5 and I didn't. Sorry.
That's fantastic. That's so cool. So everyone did pretty bloody well there, didn't they? Really, you didn't really take much damage, and you executed some. I thought that they were OP, but clearly not. So that's brilliant. You guys are awesome. What I'm going to say is, you jump back into the skiff, and it's just such. Despite all the horrors that you've just had to endure. You're all in very good spirits. The ocean reflects your good mood as it puts up hardly any effort. The tide is pretty much flat and the waves are pretty still. Being Velen, it's always usually quite warm, and so the sun has come up and it's warming you nicely. You have some time to relax as you make your way towards the port town. Now you have a few options when you decide to enter Velen. There's, I take it you're somewhat nefarious, are you, Finn? Like, do you operate within the law or grey area, or?
It's a grey area. It's I do what suits me for my purpose. I wouldn't say I'm not a pirate as such.
Okay, there's a few smuggling routes that you know that you could land the skiff in if you wanted to enter the city, maybe, you know, a bit quieter or a bit more undercover, or you can just sort of come through the ports and go through all the rigmarole of having to explain where you've been and who you are and are you on charters and that sort of thing. So there's the legit way, or there's the smuggler's route.
Smugglers.
Okay, cool.
How long will it take us
Bothering
to
with
get to port?
How long?
Why?
Well, how long will it take us to get there? Like on the boat?
Yeah, by skiff, you are talking a good. You'd have to take it in turns rowing. It's a good couple of hours.
Okay, cool. For one of those hours, for my turn rowing, I'm actually just going to swim and push the boat, so I get my hour in the water.
Nice.
Awesome. That makes it a lot easier. That makes it a lot easier for you, Finn, which is going to be a godsend.
For me and Duval.
What's that? Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, for you and Duval, yeah.
So just have like a little stick that we poke Lucho with. It's like, more left, more right.
No.
You can crack your whip.
I just get to and summon Mage Hand, so it gets a little bit too off course. It's sort of like a tap on the shoulder.
You know,
to go a little bit right.
Me, the mage hand in front of me under the water, just pointing what direction I need to go in more.
Too easy.
That's excellent.
I like that. We use the Mage Hand like a compass just to point it into the route.
Yep.
Mage compass.
Every now and then the boat stops so that I can go and get a pretty shell, and then I come back and we start going again.
Fair.
So as you spend these couple of hours heading up the shoreline, the waves, the tide is in your favor. Umberlee, the goddess of the oceans, is obviously distracted elsewhere, causing havoc for some other unlikely sailor somewhere. You get a quick passage, and Finn, it's at that point you start to recognize waypoints and landmarks and make a beeline for what would appear to be, for most people, just a set of crags and caves. This sort of high up black rock sort of looms above you, and the sand here has become like a black sort of color, clearly from the rock that's been eroded. What I'll do is I'll get you to do I can't think of a better thing, but basically roll me a sleight of hand to see how well you hide the boat. The skiff.
So not stealth?
It's stealth
Or is
related.
it-
Oh, yeah, stealth, yeah. Yeah,
Sorry,
stealth,
it doesn't-
sorry, my bad, yeah.
Doesn't make a difference, but yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I think the likes of Duval and Baron Samedi, who are sort of, everyone's giving you a hand pulling the boat up, they just kind of go, what about this bit? And you're like, oh yeah, okay. And you think it's going to be okay. But you have to remember that your skiff is there if you need it for any future.
So where
sailing
have
things.
I left my skiff? Just at the
Just at the Smuggler's Cave, so we'll just call it the Smuggler's Cave, which you'll know in and out how to get to. You kind of just walk past these two very normal looking rocks, and you kind of just like, with an adept skill, you just kind of slink between the two, and it instantly opens up to this hand-carved stone staircase that starts to take you up through the cliff. And within no time at all, you're all within the city proper, and you've been able to avoid both the guards, not that you've done really anything wrong, and the I've forgotten what they're called, border patrol type guys for the maritime thing.
Nice.
So you've done very well. You've got free reign in the city, and you've avoided a lot of unwanted attention. As you're walking in, the weather starts to, as is common for this, for Velen, the weather suddenly has just rapidly changed within the last 15 minutes, and it begins to rain heavily. Obviously, Lucho, you are absolutely loving this because it's just like the sea, but it's from the sky, keeping your skin nice and moist. There's a smell of petrichor, which is that smell of like, the first smell of dirt and city streets. Fill your nostrils as the rain sort of hammers down and starts lifting the dust. Now, because all of you are relatively familiar with Velen, it comes as no surprise when you notice the occasional ghost would just materialize in front of you. Again, it makes you unnerved, but you know this place and you know that ghosts very rarely attack people. All the other people of Velen just live in harmony with the spirits, and they do their thing, and the spirits do their own thing. Occasionally one
This is
will
what
just...
happens when you don't have the proper death rites, man.
That is very true. That is very true. As you're walking into the main sort of area, you notice a street merchant who sort of catches your eye. He's doesn't seem to be a regular, and you don't recognize his stall. He's in a prime spot, and he's getting loads of attention from a large crowd that's gathered. A lot of people are kind of craning and pushing each other out the way to get an eye of his wondrous wares. There's the occasional squabble even that sort of breaks out as like perhaps two fishermen kind of push each other out the way and go, "That's my spot," and they kind of go, "No, you bastard, that's my spot, I'm looking, you've had your turn." The pub, the place where you've got to meet Björnen is still further down the road, but there's a lot of interest at this marketplace. So he keeps on sort of shouting, "Fine Cholton wares! Come and look at the finest fine Cholton wares! Items of mystery, items of wonder!" And he's there generating a lot of interest. You've just come into a lot of wealth, and it's up to you whether you want to see what he's kind of got for sale, or whether you want to sort of keep on going down to the pub.
See what he's got for sale?
Duval's always kind of looking over his shoulder a little bit here. Any presence of ghosts always unnerves him given his profession. But he's also down for seeing what's going on with what's for sale.
Okay, fantastic. So how are you approaching the crowd? Are you gently kind of Assassin's Creed kind of, or are you just like out the way kind of thing, like pushing through?
Duval's definitely a little bit more covert. He's used to trying to blend in with the crowd and be as ambiguous as possible.
Not stand near Duval, and I'll use, flashes of snakes and light and minor things, and see whether or not, and then occasionally take a drag on my thing and then belch out a bit of fire and see if anybody's prepared to move out of my way. But I'll be in such a way that they'll be looking at me and not looking at Duval.
Well, certainly, Baron Samedi, everyone gives you space, and Duval, you slip very nicely into a crowd as your training has sort of given you before. Now, let's go to Lucho. Lucho, you've got a lot of skin exposed, haven't you, at the moment? Or have you, or are you covered up?
Yeah, no, I'm wearing like some little boxer shorts, like actual boxer shorts, not like underwear boxer shorts, and a belt.
Okay, so how do you approach the crowd?
I mean, I jump through it. No, I don't know. I guess if they're in my way, they'll just get poisoned. So, coming through. I don't want to hurt you.
A lot of them mainly react not to your words of warning, but more to your appearance, and just think, well, what the shit is this?
Also, I'm like 3 foot tall. Just so you know.
What's that? Sorry.
I'm like 3 foot
yeah.
tall. I'm tiny, or I'm small, but.
Aw, tiny little tank.
Yeah, I'm a little frog who just jumps on you if you're mean.
So you're. I can't look. I think you make like one woman vomit as you like brush past her hand. But she swoons and then quickly sort of gathers herself because it doesn't last long because it's just a minute's poison.
Oh, it's not even. It's just like a bit of damage.
Yeah. So she just kind of swoons and vomits a bit and doesn't know why and sort of walks off. She goes, "Oh, it must be the oysters I had."
Like I said,
and how about you, Finn? Are you just watching from afar, or are you going to sort of shimmy in and see what kind of wonders there are?
I was wondering if I could actually. I don't know if this will work, but I figured I can try. I wondered if I could disperse the crowd a little bit with Thunderclap.
Yeah, by all means. Now, they're going to obviously have commoner stats. So, would you just do it a little bit, or are you just like... Oh.
I have to technically roll for it, so...
Yeah.
It's basically create a burst of thunderous sound that can be heard up to 100 feet away.
Yeah, that's cool.
So everyone else has to make a con save. or they take 1d6 thunder damage.
Okay.
So I'm assuming basically all my mates are sort of like behind me and I'm sort of edging up to the front at this point.
Yeah, I can
Like
say magically for this one, you're pulling your punches, and it's more like thaumaturgy or something like that. You just really don't channel much beams through it, as it were. You just kind of just go, boop, and then everyone just goes, whoa! A sea of staggering people kind of sort of move out of your way, and you all kind of get pride of place. So what I'm going to do here is just ask Cam, how do I transport the player tokens to the next map?
Right. You could just grab the 4 that are there, click on or hold down Shift, and then click on 1, 2, 3, 4. Do copy or Control C, and then when you move over into the new map, just do Control V, and it'll dump them in there.
Ah, awesome. Hey, that's really nice. So here's... come on. Is it doing it? Are you there? Hey! Oh, it's done everyone.
Woohoo!
That's done Melanie. Can you guys see that?
I don't think we've transitioned over
No.
just yet. You might have to drag the or open up the page at the top
Yeah.
and drag the little red players tag from the current map over to the new one.
Players tag.
It's like a little red looking tag that is sitting on the map. You can actually grab it, click on it, and drag it over to the next map.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Okay, there.
Beautiful.
You guys there? Or?
Hey, there's Melanie.
Yeah, she made it. That's no good.
Oh, good.
And I'll just hang on. Let me just paste. I'm so sorry about this. I wanted to.
Oh, you're right. Go for it.
So I'll grab you 4. And copy. And paste you there. Hey!
All right. Technology.
So, here I won't move you because that's defeats the purpose, but here is the merchant, and the orange box sort of simulates how big the crowd is.
Uh-huh.
This is his tent here. As you approach, he's obviously goes through a very well rehearsed script. But what's interesting with him, instead of just like most salesmen where they would just sort of say what they have, he is obviously very proud of what he's found. And again, he sort of reels off, he says, "Fine Cholton wares, come and witness the mystery of," and then he'll go, "the rare petrified flowers of Cholt," and he'll sort of lift it up and holds up these sort of bunch of like petrified flowers. And everybody goes, "Ooh," imagine the reaction. He goes, "Here, on my last journey, Found in the sand to a nameless pirate, no doubt. I find this purse. It's a magical purse. And he holds it up. And as he sort of holds it up, there's a slight draft as the purse sort of opens. Yeah, I mean, he's quite believable. He's a charismatic son of a bitch. And you have no reason really to sort of kind of doubt it.
Nice.
What he's saying. He holds it up and very protectively doesn't show it to anyone to sort of pass around. He says, "Here, a strange, unknown language is written on the clasp." Now, what languages does everybody know?
Damn it, I wish I was one level up because I'd have the perfect idea for this. But I've only got Common and Infernal.
Okay, everybody else?
Common, primordial, and then I have somewhere to take. No, I'll find it in a minute. Someone else go.
Deep speech, strong, and undercommon.
Common and undercommon?
And deep speech and grung.
Awesome. Baron Samedi?
No, I can't find it, but it should be common, one other language, and another language.
Okay.
I can cast comprehend languages. There it is.
That's what I
Okay. Fantastic. Oh, that makes it a lot easier. So, because I know Yuan-Ti, because I love playing them, Baron Samedi, you can understand what this language is written on here, as can you, Finn. It's a simple word. Strange to see it engraved and decorated so beautifully. It just says unspend, which strikes you as bad grammar, but perhaps there's something more to it. You recognize the handwriting, well, not handwriting. You recognize the script as Draconic, and it certainly piques your interest. He continues to go on and say, "But the wonders don't stop there, ladies and gentlemen. Do gather in close for this strange and chilling Cholton death mask." And everybody goes, "Oh," and they will take a step back, and literally it's just you guys are just a foot in front as everyone step back, because what you have to understand, like with seafaring people, is they are fully scared of hexes and curses and the unknown black magics. So when they see like Cholton death mask, it's all full of mystery. He also goes on to mention, he says, "And here, far from the jungles of Chult, I also have an assassin's poison quiver." He says, "belonging to the Ouroboros of Night." He says, "A clever compartment at the bottom. You just twist it, and 6 of your arrows can be coated in poison." He then goes on to say, and like really, he's like really bigged it up. Then he just goes, there's obviously some stock he's had for a while. He goes, "And some basic gauntlets of Torm." He puts them to one side, and everyone just goes, "Ah." And he goes, "And ladies and gentlemen, with all of these purchases that you have here today, I'll gladly throw you in a healing potion, tinctures and remedies that I have at my disposal. I also have a fine array of hats from across the world." Hats.
I need a hat.
Oh no.
Is that what you say? Are you going to say that, or?
Yes.
Okay, he says, "Oh, out of all the many wonders, the last I thought I would see is somebody buy one of my splendid hats."
I mean, I'm from
now-
Chult. You know your crap before.
Oh, not the likes of this. And to be honest, you kind of haven't. A lot of this stuff is like very rare. Like you,
I mean, I can
coming from
poison my
Chult.
own arrows, but
Yeah, that's true. Coming from Chult, you have heard of the Ouroboros of Night. They are. All you really know is that they're like a Yuan-Ti cult, as it were. And yeah, so basically, if any of this takes your interests, you have a strange magical purse, some petrified flowers, Cholton Death Mask, Poison Quiver, basic gauntlets of Tom, healing potions, tinctures and remedies, or a plethora of hats, which I've actually written down. So you have a choice of a miner's hat, which will give you some protection, how much you don't know, an aristocratic hat,
Ooh.
a tricorn, a purple silk bandana that forever smells of lavender.
I want the
So
builder's
this-
hat. I can.
Duval's going to ask about the tricorn.
The tricorn?
Hmm.
He says, the tricorn, my friend, that today I can sell to you, bearing in mind that you will get a health potion, is going to be... And he thinks and he looks you up and down and he kind of sort of mulls it over. He says, 16 silver pieces to you.
Agreeable price, my friend. You have a deal.
Very well. You are now the proud owner of a very good-looking tricorn.